Yo. First of all, man, all glory go to the Most High. All glory be to God. I just want to jump another video. Secondly, I do not own the copyrights to none of this music. Forget you gotta do all that in videos and all that, man. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here, man, jump another video, man, so y'all tap in with me, man, check me out. That's something y'all want to do. I just wanted to come on here and just kind of run through some things, man. I'm a freestyle this joke, I never really write nothing down. So you kind of come out the dome with this stuff, man. But one of the things I want to kind of touch on, a couple things I want to kind of touch on, I'm going through my journey with this deal. Man, trying to be open-minded, willing, and honest, trying to be honest with myself. So my channel is more so like a documentary, a video journal for myself, And definitely, for the Most High to get glory out of whatever he can out of what he's done in my life. Just this shit that I'm going through, by no means am I perfect. No means am I holier than thou and all of that. No. No, that's just not the case. Bro, I done made all the mistakes in the motherfucking world. You feel me? I ain't perfect at all. And nowhere am I knocking the way anybody live. I don't knock nobody, bro. One thing I don't do is judge people. Or, try and promote something I ain't, cause the way I live, or used to live, or subject to going back to live, cause, I can go back, run back to the streets any day, we all just one decision away from another bad decision, one step away, or a good decision, rather, for that matter. But, I just come on here and just try and get the shit off that's on my mind, that's on my chest, man. I get in here dolo by myself and just talk about a lot of shit that'd be hard to share with other people, Or, I just try and share some shit that somebody can relate to, Hopefully, anyway. So, me, man, I sold drugs damn near my whole motherfucking life, And I ain't glorifying that, but I did, And shit, I glorified the game. I love the streets, I love my niggas in the streets, But, I just got to a point in life where I wanted to do something different, And it wasn't no lightning strike moment or none of that shit and all of that. It was just more so me wanting a better life for myself, for my children, bro. I really didn't start focus on changing anything until I had my kids, So that was the blessing and the turning point in my life, Also, I don't know, man, I just kind of tried to realign, man, tried to remotivate, Because, I didn't have my kids. I was like 32, 33 years old, I had both my kids in the same year, man, 2017. It was crazy. I had my son January.
What would you say to somebody that
turned around and had my daughter December of 2017, so both by the same woman, too. I think they call it Irish twins. They call it Irish twins, yeah, but my son and my daughter the same year, man. It's crazy. I went from having no kids to having 2 kids 1 year. And, one thing I always prayed for was to have children, I didn't think I could have kids. Like I said, once I was like 32, 33 before I had them. And, I was definitely knee-deep in the streets, knee-deep and getting fucked up, My thing was, man, bury me standing up, man, 10 toes down, Just crazy thought that I had in my head, you feel me? Because all I knew was the trap, And not to say that I didn't have a good upbringing, because like I say, I did. That's why I say I can relate to y'all on a lot of levels, man. I can relate to who come up in the suburbs, like I said, 'cause my daddy had us in the suburbs, But You know, the rest of my family was in the project, you feel me? So I can relate to niggas in the hood too. That's why the streets love me. You know what I mean? I've never no dummy. I always went to school, but I went to school for the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? I skipped school. I dropped out of school about 10th, 11th grade. You know what I mean? Once I started hustling, man, it was over for school. You know what I mean? Fast money. You know, was addictive too. You know what I mean? You know, but a lot of that shit, I wasted a lot of time in the street. But one thing about hustling, bro, when you hustling, you ain't really got the really thoughts or the mind frame to really be focused on nothing else. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's all about the next dollar. It's all about what the streets doing, who doing it. You know what I mean? Who the biggest? You know what I'm saying? I catch this play, that play. You know what I mean? And it's just a competitive cycle, which I'm stuck in for a long time, man. You know, I can remember, you know what I mean, just putting so much work in it, you know what I mean, bro, 'cause I earned my motherfucking street, I earned my street stripe, you know what I'm saying? I turned 28 to 56 in a minute, you know what I'm saying? Crazy with the Fort gang, you know what I mean? It's just stuff that I picked up, man, shit. Cause if you wasn't dropping that shit in the water your damn self, hell, you wasn't really no nigga making no bread. You know what I mean? It's one thing to be able to move that shit, but it's another thing to be able to put them extra numbers on that shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother story. You know, I don't want to get on topic here. And, but you know, what was I trying to say? So, man, you know me, trying not to get off subject here. But, yeah. So, you know what I mean? I definitely got love for my niggas out there. If you got, you know what I mean? You got also to feed your family and all that. By any means, do your thing, man. Ladies, you got to hit the club. Do your thing, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But it's just like Pop say, man, do what you got to do, but know you got to change. Try and find a way to make it out the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the 90s, man. I'm an 80 baby, 84. You know what I mean? So I came up on you know, in the music, when the music was, in my opinion, still made sense. You know what I mean? I like a little bit of this music, man. I love YBZ, man, but a lot of these niggas ain't talking about nothing but killing niggas and all that other dumb shit, man. And I just got to a point in my life where, man, you get tired of hearing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And especially being from the streets, you get tired of losing your niggas in the streets, man. You get tired of going to prison, man. You get tired of seeing niggas dying. And, you know what I mean? And you got to the point of getting tired of selling dope all motherfucking day. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all get it. Well, I mean, whatever. This is just speaking from my personal opinion. You know, and definitely, you know, just having kids, man, just growing up looking at my son like, damn, man, I don't want my son having to pump that pack, having to worry about going to prison all the motherfucking time. You know, my daughter glorifying niggas that do that shit. You know what I mean? Especially when it's a whole other way out there. You know what I mean? There's other ways to make money than being a dope man. You know what I mean? And working a 9 to 5. You know, I don't like punching no clock. You know what I mean? But I do. You know what I mean? It's safer. You know what I'm saying? But the goal is to turn entrepreneur. You know what I mean? The goal is to own business. The goal is to get land. The goal is, you know what I mean, to build something for my children to have, so my children ain't got to work as hard as I did. You know what I mean? That's the motherfucking goal. And to put another brother on when I get there, to put another nigga on so his family ain't got to go through the bozo. You know? So, you know what I mean? That's just a couple of things that I be envisioning, man. And, you know, one person that kind of put me on that tip, you know what I mean? Like I say, man, I love David Sands, man, that social proof. You know what I'm saying? And what he do, man. I love what David Sands does. Dorito Dave, man, nigga. You know what I mean? I fuck with his movement. You know what I mean? You know, just bringing forth, shining a light on black excellence, man, and just black people just out here making millions of dollars, man, off legit money. You know what I'm saying? Going legit, doing stocks, doing real estate, doing content, whatever it is, bro. You know, and I love that dude, you know what I mean? One of the guys he got on there, Myron Goldman, Myron Golden, I think it is. He said he got $1 million courses, man. He said this motherfucker said he got $1 million master class. How you get a motherfucker to pay you $1 million for a class? And that's just, you know what I mean? It's out here, you know what I'm saying? So when you tap in to more resources and knowledge, man, knowledge is information. Information is key, you know what I mean? You know, I watch these brothers like 19 Keys, man, these podcasts, man, you know what I mean? That's eventually what I'm trying to do, you know what I mean? Be a content creator and motivational speaking type of deal, you know what I mean? These niggas get paid off their pain, you know what I mean? Get paid off their story. You know what I mean? Jeremy Anderson, man. I watched the Jeremy Anderson sit down and chop it up with Donnie Higgins, man. That episode on what's the name of her podcast? What's the name of her junk, man? Full Transparency or something like that, man. And Jeremy Anderson, man, I love his story, man. You know, and I related a lot to that guy, bro. And you know, just finding people that I can relate to besides drug dealers and kingpins and pimps and street hustlers. You know what I mean? Not knocking them, but you know what I mean? Bro, I'm tired of going to jail. I'm tired of going to prison and shit, man. I'm tired of getting drunk all day, smoking weed all day. You know what I mean? Snorting coke and smoking dope and all that stupid shit. None of that shit even matters. And for another thing, every habit is an addiction, man. You getting this shit, man. When you start to get off drugs and just sit back and look, man, how everybody hate everybody's addiction. You know what I mean? One person think one person's addiction is better than the other. Motherfuckers smoking weed don't think they doing a motherfucking thing wrong. Nigga, you an addict, bro. You know what I'm saying? You's a motherfucking addict, bro. Whether it's weed, whether it's cocaine, whether it's alcohol. Motherfuckers who drink alcohol, they ain't doing a motherfucking thing wrong. Like, man, I just drink. Yeah, talking about it, you know what I mean? Talk shit about a nigga snorting coke all day. But you a motherfucking drunk. You know what I mean? Motherfucker who smoke weed, talk shit about nigga doing coke. Man, them niggas cokehead. Nigga, you a motherfucker. Like, it's crazy. You got a whole lot of addiction. You know what I mean? This whole myth that one addiction is better than the other is borderline, just like the same thing. One sin better than the other. God, look at all that shit the same. You know what I mean? You ain't no better than another motherfucker. You know what I mean? And it killed me. You know what I mean? The meth addict think he better than the crackhead. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I smoke. Them niggas smoke. You know what I'm saying? This shit, this shit's diabolical, bro. Like, you know what I mean? The crackhead hate the crackhead. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. You know what I mean? Nigga, you smoke dope too, but you know what I mean? Bro, and it's funny. It's not funny. It's crazy and it's sad. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. All y'all got a fucking addiction. You know what I mean? The nigga that smokes cigarettes and don't drink, nigga, you smoke a 10 pack of cigarettes every motherfucking day. You know what I'm saying? Man, I just smoke cigarettes. Motherfucker, you an addict. You a motherfucking addict, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You got the nerve to ask me, but can't even afford your goddamn cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. It's stupid. You know what I mean? The nigga who don't do nothing, nigga, you beat your wife. You know what I'm saying? You beating on your wife, or you got a cheat in the dish. You got porn in the dish. You and I beating your meat all the goddamn time. You know what I mean? Nigga, you a sex addict. You addicted to porno. You know what I'm saying? You know, so you can be addicted to anything. Food, sex, cigarettes, coffee. You know what I'm saying? All of this shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, one thing, I mean, everybody just gotta stop judging everybody, you know what I mean, and start helping everybody. You know what I mean? If you can reach one, teach one. You know what I mean? And that's just what I'm on now, man. I ain't into judging nobody, man, because everybody done fell short of the glory of God. You know what I mean? And that's just where I'm at with this shit today, man. Ain't none of it no daggone good. Even the vape, you know what I mean? You just say the vape just as bad as cigarettes, you know what I mean? The people on top got a plan to kill everybody. That's what it is. It's really, it ain't even black against white no more. It's rich versus poor. You know what I mean? We trying to get out the motherfucking bucket, bro. That's what the fuck we trying to do. You know what I mean? We trying to get this crab, you know, everybody got this crab in the bucket ass mentality. You know, and it's crazy, man. You know, you can go to work at the job. You know, people don't even want to train you. It's something I'm going through at work now. You know what I mean? Oh man, I ain't here to hold no hands and. You know, people are, know they're supposed to be training you, but to sit back and watch and wait for you to make a mistake, then try to tell you what you did wrong. Which is the dumbest shit that ever to me. Like, bro, go ahead and show me the right way to do it so we can get the right shit going. You wasting the company time, you wasting my time, you wasting your time, because once I mess this shit up and you know the right way to do it, you know what I mean? We wasting money, we wasting product, you know what I mean? Wasting time. Motherfucker rather sit back, I ain't about to hold, you know what I mean? Rather let you make a daggone mistake, think that's the right thing to do. That's the dumb mentality that black folk got nowadays. I'd rather see you make them, you gotta bump your head. No, man, it's the most irritating thing in the world. I'm not gonna get after my kid. So I'm gonna make my kid struggle so he can understand the value. That's why we so motherfucking behind as a unit, as a people, as a culture. You know what I mean? You don't see these other motherfuckers out here doing that damn shit. Man, these motherfuckers putting their kids in position, putting their neighbor in position, putting their brother in position. You feel me? You know what I mean? That's my goal. I'm trying to put people in position, man. I'm trying to put people in position, bro. That way we can get ahead one day. You know what I mean? Then you worry about that next couple generations down. You know what I mean? When everybody's successful, you want a motherfucker to. This to one of my homeboys be telling one of my mentors be like, man, I rode the bike in the rain and all of that stuff. What you think I ain't been in the motherfucking rain? Give a nigga the sauce, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's a millionaire and all this stuff, like I say. Man, give me some $1 million game. Man, you need to go to where you gotta start from the bottom. Man, I've been at the motherfucking bottom, man. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? I appreciate the knowledge and all that stuff, man. I appreciate it, but my thing is when I get where I'm at, you know what I mean? I ain't, you know what I mean? I'm trying to put niggas where I'm trying to get niggas head starts, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to go and get a game. Now, what you do with it from there, that's on you. Whether you appreciate it or not, hopefully you can take care of your daggone family. Hopefully your kids ain't got to suffer. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know, so that's just where my mentality at, bro. You know, man, rest in peace to Rich Homie Quan, man. Love that dude too, man. Yeah, rest in peace, Rich Homie, man. That's another thing with this rap shit, man. This can't even be rappers. No, my rappers ain't living past 35. You know what I mean? Everybody want to be a rapper. They want to be a drug dealer. You know what I mean? They want to play sports and stuff. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Open these businesses up, man. LLC me. You know what I'm saying? LLC me, man. Boss man me. CEO me, man. Money man yo me, man. You feel me? But you know, that's just where I'm at with this lifestyle, man. You know, I'm trying to create something and build something, man. You know, at the same time, glorify God. You know what I mean? And that's just where I'm at, man. So, you know, I ain't this holy Gabbana, holy Christian ass. Fuck Holy Gabbana, too, man. I ain't no Holy Gabbana was from Jacksonville, too, man. Holy Gabbana, tap in with me, man. You know what I mean? Fuck with a real nigga. But yeah, man, you know, so that's just what a brother like me on, man. You know, some things you know, everything I'm doing right now, you know, just trying to get my life together, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then once you waste so much time, you know what I mean, out there fucking off in the streets, you know what I mean, you really just sit back, you know what I mean, you got them bricks here, don't stop, hell, keep going, you feel me? And I wasn't never blessed to get that far, you know what I mean, I might have touched it, you know what I mean, I might buy 2-3 zip, you know what I mean, 1-2-3 zip, you know what I mean, just depending on how much money I had spent that week, but, you know what I mean, that wasn't no extravagant, crazy amount of dope, but hell, I touched a couple $1,000, you know what I mean? I done had the clothes, I done had the car, I could pay my bills, you know, but was it sustainable? The foundation, you know what I mean? I could lose it all like that, you know, and plus it just had me in a cycle of active addiction, you know what I mean? Cause I always had drugs. You got drugs laying around all the damn time. You know, you're liable to do that shit, you know. If you hang around the barbershop long enough, you're gonna get a damn haircut, you know. But, you know, and that's just what it is, man, you know. I just try to, I mean, just me personally, man, I just want different, man, you know. And that's just being honest. That's just being honest, keep it real. So, you know, what else was I trying to touch on? But yeah, just coming up in the streets, man, and, you know, just, you know, being subject to doing drugs. You know, like I say, man, one thing I had the hardest time doing was, you know, admitting I was an addict, you know what I mean, which was hard for me, you know what I mean, because, you know, where I come from, you know what I mean, you know, from selling drugs and shit, you know, the code is, you know what I mean, even bigger tell you, you know what I mean, never get high off your own supply. And you know what I mean? So when I jumped off the porch, I'm gonna keep it honest with y'all, man. I really like to talk about this shit, but you know what I mean? I talk about it, man, with y'all, man, because I fuck with y'all. And this about being honest. But yo, when I started smoking crack, you know what I mean? I ain't, one rock is too many, definitely, you know what I mean? But yeah, I did jump off the wall, did jump out the window, smoke that dope. You know what I mean? For me, sex and drugs went hand in hand. You know what I mean? Whether it was coke, whether it was weed, alcohol, you know what I mean? I definitely wanted a bitch involved, you know? Oh, female, excuse me, not a bitch. But I definitely wanted a woman in my ambiance, you know what I'm saying? In my presence. And, you know, women do drugs just as men do. And, you know, so I think when I started smoking crack, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I probably never really told this to maybe a few people, but I'm gonna drop this on my channel, man. So, you know what I mean? Feel free to judge me or whatever, man. I don't even care no more, bro. I done forgave myself. You know, man, but I did jump off the glass, man. And, yeah, man, my baby mama had broke up, bro. And like I said, if I was smoking dope, nigga, I was smoking out of ounces, man. You know, I was smoking out them zips. You know, I wasn't running around to no corner like niggas didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Because I had that work. But, you know, my baby mama, around tax time, I never get it, man. I knew the motherfucker was cheating. I knew the motherfucker was fucking off. You know what I'm saying? Which I was doing the same shit, you know what I mean? But not like her, though. You know what I mean? She was just blatant me. You wouldn't know it. You know what I mean? And, but you know, I got her some car. I had already had a car. She wanted a car and shit, so she had her little whip. I think she was short about $800. She got her taxes back. She was short a couple $100, about $600-700. So I gave her the rest of the money on the whip, and she got her car, first and only car she probably ever had. You know, I had to help her get. You know what I mean? Took her to my man Slade. You know, man, shouts out to Slade, man. Love that nigga, man. That's my dog, Chris Slade, man. Y'all need to call y'all on with the Sailor, man. Go see Chris Slade off of Walltown. He'll get you right, man. He'll get you in something. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, where was I at? Yeah, so yeah, the motherfucker had a little car, had a little tax money. Had a little tax money, man, and she had the cousin coming around, man. And the cousin already had like 9 kids, you know what I mean? I'm 40, my baby mama like 10 years younger than me. So I had to been about, I don't know, 32. She was probably about 22, 23 or something. They were young, and they were going out, you know what I'm saying, running around. You know what I mean? You could tell when a girl moving different, you know what I mean? And all that. So I know the motherfucker fucking off and all that, you know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? But all in all, man, you know what I mean? I had my family. I had that. Like I said, we living in my house. I ain't living with her. You know what I'm saying? I got my own car. I got, you know what I mean? I'm booming. You know what I mean? My door swinging, my phone blinging. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And I fuck around, get a little job or two every now and then, too. You know what I mean? So I wasn't no stranger to working or hitting the trap. You know what I mean? Like I said, I had already graduated from the trap. Like, you got to pull up on me, you know what I mean? I swerve on you. You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm peeping the girl move. You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm fucking out too. But one thing about me, bro, in my relationships, bro, I never be the one to break up with these hoes. These hoes think they can find another nigga better than me or another nigga like me. You know what I'm saying? And they'll run off on the plug. They'll run off on the G. You know what I mean? And that's what she did, man. She ran off with some clown ass nigga. And you know what I'm saying? I would always forgive her. You know what I mean? Because me, like I said, I grew up with my mom and my dad in the same house. You know, I grew up with both my parents, so I always wanted my kids to grow up in the house with me and their mama. You know what I mean? Because I feel like kids need both their parents. You know what I mean? So, if anything, you know what I mean, I would have forgave her, and we could have worked through it. You know, I would have never, you know what I mean, left her for another woman. I might have cheated. I might still cheated, which I was eventually cheating. You know what I mean? So, not knocking her, cause I wasn't perfect. You know what I mean? You know, I don't think any of them niggas she ever fucked with then or now was better than me. In any way, shape, or form, you know what I mean? Granted, the nigga did slip up and get on that bullshit, but, and that's unbeknownst to her, she probably ain't know about it. I mean, the hating ass nigga probably did try and tell her that shit, but, yo, fuck her. My child support payments always hit, you know what I mean? I might go a minute without a little gig or go a couple months, but I ain't one of them niggas that go years without seeing their kids or sending no money or nothing like that. It might be a month or two, because everybody hit that slump, bro. Everybody go through some shit. But yeah, I'm always checking on mine, you know what I mean? I'm always trying to get my kids right, you know what I mean? You know, and I ain't got no problem paying child support, you know? And, you know, that's another story, but like I say, when the motherfucker left, you know what I mean? I would always trick off with them hoes, you know what I mean? Cause, you know, nigga like me, I ain't begging, I'm buying, baby, you know what I mean? You don't pay her to fuck, you pay her to leave, you know what I'm saying? So I had one of my little favorite little homegirls over to the house, cause like I said, she had already packed up, left, took my kids. You know what I mean? So real nigga got hurt, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm booming, you know what I mean? After I got like an ounce of coke, maybe 2 ounces of coke, an ounce of hard or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I ran out of dope, me and baby girl, but the baby girl was fine, this little motherfucker like Korean, Filipino or some shit. Baby was fine. Now I known her for a long time and shit. You know what I mean? So I invite her to the house, you know what I'm saying? Let her get up there, smoke my coke, jamming my thing, drinking my drink. She blowing her smoke, you know what I mean? And so, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? You know, I love to freak out. I'm a freak, you know what I mean? I'm a believer, you know what I mean? And, yeah, I end up running out of coke. And we freaking out, we in the bed, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm depressed, I'm going through the motions. You know what I mean? No cap, bro. I'm like, baby, man, let me hit that shit. You feel me? Hey, you know what I mean? That's how it happened, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Freaking out with a bitch, you know what I mean? Freaking out with a bitch, bro. That's how it happened, man. And I wasn't doing it like that, you know what I mean? It gradually got worse, you know what I mean? You know, I might just do it just with her, and I might not trick off her, but maybe once a month every now and then, you know what I mean? And even when I did trick out with her, I wouldn't smoke no dope every motherfucking time. But when I felt like it, I would, you know what I mean? And like I said, I really couldn't handle it like that at first, you know what I mean? I ended up building up a tolerance. And like I say, already having cocaine in your system, you know, it hit different. And but yeah, that's how I started smoking dope, bro. And but like I say, I was already big dog, you know what I mean? And niggas didn't know. She was probably the only one that knew. I mean, she was the only one that knew because she was the only person I did it with at that time. You know, but like I said, I still had my own house, still had 2 cars. You know, my phone still booming, you know what I mean? I mean, I'm still getting to the money, you know what I mean? Like I say, cause I'm not really doing it like that. I'm still doing, you know what I mean? I'm still snorting coke though, like habitually, you know what I mean? Like me, I've never been doing no 120. If I'm doing drugs, I'm doing drugs all day, you know what I mean? And that was just my life, man. I'm snorting all day, drinking all day, hustling all day. And it was just a repetitive cycle, man. And that's just where I lived since I was 14, 15 years old. You know what I mean? And like I say, I just got good at it, and that's what I was known for, you know what I mean? And that's why people fuck with me, because I had the drugs and I got fucked up, you know what I mean? And I just started realizing how fake that shit was and how bitches only wanted me because I had money. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? I could get fly every day, because I definitely buy a bitch some shoes, and we going shopping, go get us some fits and all that stuff. We're gonna go out to eat, then we're gonna go back to the house, get fucked up and freak out. You know what I mean? So, and bitches was into that shit, you know, like they ain't. But, you know, I just got tired of the meaningless sex. You know, the meaningless, wasting the money, getting high, blowing money on bitches I really didn't care for. Just doing it because that was the thing to do. Who got the most hoes, and just supporting all these broke ass niggas in the hood, they motherfucking habits and all that shit, man. So, bro, if y'all out there doing that shit, bro, I can relate, bro. You know what I mean? I've been there before. You know what I mean? You know, and then, you know, I was really just doing it, you know what I mean, just trying to be, you know, just covering up pain that I felt, you know what I mean, because I still had pain from, you know, my brothers being murdered and all of that shit. And, you know, all the shit that I was going through out there in the streets, or arguing with my parents, and, you know, just, you know what I mean, just little strifes, and, you know, but yeah, it was just a cycle, man. You do that shit to fill in those gaps, man. I didn't really feel love from my family, so I sought love out there in the world. You know, which kept me in a repetitive cycle of just not being able to focus on really what I needed to focus on. That was getting my damn life right. You know, stacking up some bread, starting up some businesses, and taking care of my kids, and going legit, you feel me? You know, so I don't know, man. It's just crazy, man. Once I got to a level, you know what I mean? Especially when I started smoking that shit, bro, I just started to see how, like, damn, this is what the fuck I'm doing to people, you know what I mean? And, you know, when my mama died, like I said, my mama died in 2020. You know what I mean? That shit really hit me hard. You know, that's you know, so all that what I was talking about was probably about 2019, 2018, so next year it was like 2020, my mom ended up dying, and I would always get on my mom about doing drugs and shit. You know, coming up, I would always give my mother a hard time about smoking crack, you know what I'm saying? My dad too, you know what I'm saying? I would, and a lot of people in the world I did, you know what I mean? Because, you know, when you the dope, man, you feel like you better than everybody. You know what I mean? That's what they, you know what I mean? Which was a dumb ego to have. But yeah, man, the trap nigga always feel like he better than the working nigga. But you out here selling poison, bro. You know what I mean? You out here killing people. Once you go to prison, nigga, ain't nobody there for you now. You know what I mean? Bro, let me get a phone call. You know what I'm saying? Eating them bullshit trays, locked down all day and all that stupid shit, man. So I just realized for me, man, it was just a wasteful ass life, bro, a pointless ass life, and now that I done got out of it, man, and I look at a lot of my niggas that's doing legit business, man, them niggas doing way better, living way better, you know what I'm saying? I know niggas in recovery, I know way more niggas in recovery that's millionaires, but you don't see too many street millionaires, and the ones I do know, man, them niggas in prison, facing 100 years, living a spooky ass life, you know what I mean? Gotta worry about federal penitentiary chances every motherfucking day. You know what I mean? And you know, for me, man, you know what I mean? I know all the paranoia that I had, you know, from getting high, you know, running around busting plays all day. You gotta worry about the fucking police. You gotta worry about these hating ass niggas out here, these jinky ass bitches, these backstabbing ass friends. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, who wanna keep living like that? You know what I'm saying? Who the fuck wanna keep living like that, bro? And I just got tired of it. So, you know what I mean? Anybody out there wanna watch, you ain't seen me back home, nigga? That's why, man. Y'all can have that shit. You know what I mean? Broke niggas arguing about who got more money. Y'all niggas broke, man. Y'all niggas out doing buying 8 balls and double ups and all that stupid shit. Y'all niggas in y'all 40s buying 8 balls and quarters and shit, man. Give it up, bro. Pack that shit up, Johnny. Get you a job, man. Niggas 50, you know what I mean? I mean, you ain't got them bricks in there. That shit long, man. I ain't, like I said, I ain't knocking nobody, man. That's just how I feel, man. Like, for what, man? Cause you listen to rap music and all that, you know what I mean? The rap music got niggas fucked up nowadays, man. Everybody want to be the motherfucking dope man. You know, and you know, so that's just my feeling, my opinion on this shit now. You know what I mean? And like I say, I ain't knocking it, you know what I mean? Cause I love the trap, man. You feel me? You know, I miss it, you know what I mean, sometimes. But do I think I can do something different? Yeah. And you know, I had to spend all my life doing that shit, hell. I might well try something different. I'm 40 years old now. I ain't got too much longer to be doing anything, so I better lock in doing that shit now. I had to go back to the street, you know what I'm saying? So, which is the last thing I want to do, but you know, only time will tell, you know, so, you know what I mean? I just hope somebody out there can relate to this, man, you know what I mean? Excuse me. I get on here and ramble, man, but I'm passionate about some of the things that I feel, man. You know, just to kind of wrap it all up, man, I'll definitely come back on here and try to touch more bases on this, but I know y'all ain't really watching my long videos like this, so I try and chop this up into shorts. Like I said, I don't really know how to edit, man, so I gotta learn how to do all that shit, man. I gotta learn how to do all that, man, for myself. And let me see what else I want to touch on. But yeah, man, that's the goal, man. You know, trying to get this platform right. And like I said, I'm doing this just to, you know what I mean, to just hopefully somebody can relate to a nigga. Like I said, if you want to chop it up, man, hit me up, bro, because this is the conversations I like to have. You know what I'm saying? I like to talk recovery. I like to talk about doing better. You know, people get around me, want to talk all that street shit. You know what I mean? As long, I don't mind, you know what I mean, like I say, but I don't live that life, man, and it's triggering for me, you know what I mean, it make me want to go back to that life, because I really live that shit, and that's another thing I noticed, a lot of people who be screaming that shit ain't really live that shit, you know what I mean, bro, if you live that shit like I did, bro, you tired of that shit, for real, bro, you tired, man. And a lot of niggas ain't, I don't know, I guess, man, but, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's not one day I don't shit. You think I don't be missing that shit? Yeah. But I don't miss the getting fucked up. And then one thing I can say that if you is hustling and you ain't getting fucked up, now, that's the key. Like, if you gonna be out there in the streets, don't do no drugs, bro. If you gonna be in the street, nigga, be sober. You know what I mean? That's how you win, bro. I think if I'd have did it like that, I probably would have been, I'd have went there, you know what I mean? I'd have took off. But you know, shit, I did. And I did want to just come on here and be honest, you know, and get that off my chest, because, you know what I mean, I felt so much shame and guilt. That's another thing about smoking dope. Nigga, that shit make you feel fucking horrible, you know what I mean? The niggas gonna talk about you, and rightfully so. But, you know what I mean, a lot of niggas, could, you know what I mean, if a nigga doing drugs, bro, it's because they got pain in their heart about something. And, they got pain in their heart. And they're going through something, man. So, give a nigga a break and don't be so hard on them. And, you know, kind of let them live, man. And, what else I want to touch on, man? Also, man, just, anybody out there struggling with anything, man, you know, want to chop it up, man, tap in with me. Also, like, man, comment, subscribe if you want to, you know what I mean? All glory be to God. And I appreciate everybody who commented, man. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate everybody who watching the videos, even if you don't like it, man. Hell, you know, I appreciate all the subscribers, you know what I mean? And all glory to God, man. And you know, you need a friend, bro. You need somebody to chop it up, man. You got one of your big dog, your big homie, man. You know, so you know, I will be coming back on here, man. you know, just trying to drop some more, where I'm at, you know what I mean? I appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. Y'all just stay tuned, man. Rock with me, man. We're gonna switch it up, man, and post some more shorts and all that, man. But, hey, yo, man, I love y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, man.